Before I start, maybe I want to read you out some of the comments about you.
There's a lot of comments about me and it takes a lot of time for me to understand them, so I don't get to read most of them. How did I become so good at English? Is it because I'm English? No, it's because I subscribe to Cambly.
Now people is understanding a little bit about Tom. Just a little bit. When they're saying that Tom is so f***ing funny and then crazy, like I felt like, okay, now you understand Tom just a little bit. It's just the beginning.
Scaring me. I'm like, who is Tom? Oh, does your mum watch your videos? Your mum and your dad?
Yeah. They both know you.
Really?
My girlfriend knows you. My other friends know you.
Okay.
Probably all of my friends who watch my YouTube know you.
But I'm not surprised about that, but your mum and your dad, like older people also know me.
Do you mean like my relatives and then everyone?
It's just that in the UK,
everyone in my kingdom know you.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, my parents. This is the only way my mom can monitor me.
It's through YouTube.
Yes.
What is he doing now?
Yeah. What is my son doing? Is he doing well? Stuff like that.
Especially when I guess
I appreciate it. Sometimes it's annoying because it's equivalent to your mom just entering your workplace, sitting next to you, watching you doing your work. It's kind of like that. But at the same time, I appreciate it.
My mom's like, I call her and she's like, how old are you again? Wait, what? Are you in China or Korea? Mom, it's like, Mom, I've been in Korea almost a year.
There was one comment in our first episode of 찍으면간다. Now it's time that we listen more about Tom. Because compared to you saying a lot of bullshit things, which is funny, but like it feels like people don't know enough about you. Maybe I don't as well.
I think that's all you need to know. I'm just a guy that says a lot of bullshit things.
Yeah.
I don't have a deep,
true.
interesting backstory.
Like when I'm being around with you, we just talk about a lot of things, but then it's never about real things.
It's about random shit.
Random shit.
Because random
that we're pretty gonna much like forget on the next day.
Yes, exactly. Like that's why I was watching the video today and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I said that. I said all this crap. Okay.
So what are you?
What am I? I was born in London and then I'm there until about 2 years old. And then I go live in America just for 1 or 2 years, but I was very small.
So you don't remember?
I remember little bits. My dad moved there because of business and then about 2 years later I moved back. I had quite an easy upbringing, to be honest. I didn't really have any big struggles. The only thing that was significant is that my parents divorced when I was about probably like 6 years old.
When you were 6?
Yeah, 6, 7 years old. But then my mum bought me and my sister cats, and as soon as we had these cats, like we were completely fine again.
Cats?
Yeah, my parents don't like hate each other or anything.
Oh really?
I don't know if you can say they're happily divorced, but there's no big drama in terms of the divorce.
You say you were 6 when they divorced, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Then did you have any idea about what divorce was?
So no, kids at that age don't really have a concept of divorce. Barely have a concept of marriage, really.
Did you have like a later shock or?
No, not really, because it's gradual. I was lucky it was gradual. My dad still lived in the same, kind of close by where we lived.
Same town.
And I would still see him once or twice a week. So it's not like he just suddenly disappeared and I didn't see my dad. So it was like, it was as gradual as a divorce could be. Okay, 6 to about 10 years old in this village, then moved to a town, and I'm at that town from 10 to 18 years old, where I moved to London. And I studied 3 years at University of the Arts London. I just remember when I was...
Wait, you're talking about 10? No?
10 years old.
10 years old.
I just skipped like 8 years. Because it's okay. What's happening between 10 and 18 years old?
You were Cambly.
I worked for Cambly and I became their CEO. One thing I can say is the place where I grew up was not international at all. So it's literally just white British people. Like 99% of the population is just like, maybe, okay, 95% of people are just like white British people, which is nothing wrong with that, but it's not a particularly international area.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of interesting culture. Even though I went to pretty good schools, I was very fortunate, I was lucky, but I just still didn't like school. So I wasn't like a super happy kid growing up, to be honest. And also I got bullied a lot because my skin, it's still not good, but I had lots of spots. I was a very spotty kid. And I have long eyelashes, so people would make fun of me for obviously looking like a girl. Now I don't care. Now everyone loves these eyelashes, but like back then, got bullied a lot.
This is so lovely. This is so beautiful.
Oh, I thank you.
It is Cambly.
I didn't really mind which university I went to in London, as long as it was something I wanted to study something I was interested in, and the only thing I was interested in was media and film. Moving to London, I felt like I could kind of recreate myself because I didn't know anyone that lived there. Not really. So it's like, and I'm not living with my parents anymore. I finally moved out of that house. My Thai friend took me to Thailand and showed me around. And like, I'd never been to Asia before. So him taking me to Thailand was like a massive eye-opener experience. Going back to university, I met an ex-girlfriend who was Chinese. Like China, I felt like such an alien. Whereas like in Thailand, you feel really welcomed as a foreigner, right? They see foreigners all the time in Thailand.
Yeah, they're used to it as well. Those Thai people are very used to externers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like they're super used to Westerners and they treat you really nicely. And Chinese people treat you really nicely as well, but you totally feel lost. I went to Beijing when I was 21 and I studied Chinese there for about a year and a half. And then Korea comes in.
How?
Corona had just started in Wuhan. Unfortunately, Corona has to come into this story now. This was when it was just in Wuhan, and I'm all the way up in Beijing, which is very far away from Wuhan. So like, let's take this opportunity and just go back to the UK and like rest up a bit. And I checked prices online. If I had a stopover in Seoul, it was like almost half the price.
Yeah.
During that week of this holiday and visiting the famous sites around Korea, had a really good first impression. Really like Korea. I have the opportunity to go to Korea now because you guys, thankfully, the government here is nicer and still gives out visas to 외국인. 고마워요. So I was like, let's go to Yonsei or Sogang and study Korean. So my first Korean tutor, he took me to Ulsan to spend some time with his family, just a week. I got to eat some amazing Korean food and see what Korean like home culture was like, if you can say, like just household culture was like, because as a foreigner, only learning Korean at language institutes, you don't really get to know what Korean people's lives are like at home.
Yes, I think that kind of experience is very golden.
How can I say, solidified my mental thoughts that like, oh, learning Korean is a good idea. Look how nice these people are. I want to be able to communicate with them. And yeah, and then you've known me maybe from the third or fourth month I was in Korea. You've known me, and I suppose you know the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Roughly, you know.
And he's here.
I'm here.
All right.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye. See you next time.
Bye. 감사합니다. Oh, is that really the whole video? I don't know what to say.